Ever had your Active Directory environment fail because DNS wasn't properly configured? Your domain controllers can't register their service records, your clients can't locate resources, and your entire network grinds to a halt. This is one of the most common problems in enterprise environments, and it's completely preventable. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how DNS works with Active Directory and how to configure it correctly the first time. Welcome back to N7 Tips. This is episode 5 of our Windows Server and Active Directory series. Today we're diving deep into DNS configuration for Active Directory environments. DNS is absolutely critical for Active Directory to function properly. Without it, your domain controllers can't register themselves, your clients can't find them, and your entire authentication infrastructure fails. We'll walk through every step of setting up a DNS server on Windows Server, configuring it to work seamlessly with Active Directory, and avoiding the common mistakes that cause problems in production environments. The first step is installing the DNS Server role on your Windows Server machine. Open Server Manager from your taskbar or dashboard. Then navigate to Add Roles and Features. This opens a wizard that walks you through the installation process. Make sure you're on the correct server, then scroll through the role list and select DNS Server. The system will show you any required features that need to be installed alongside it. Go through the confirmation screen and complete the installation. Your server might need to restart, so plan accordingly and make sure you won't interrupt any running services. Once the installation completes, DNS Server will be running on your machine and ready to be configured. Now we need to create a DNS zone for your Active Directory domain. Open the DNS Manager console from your administrative tools. This is where all DNS configuration happens on Windows Server. Look at the left panel and find Forward Lookup Zones. Right-click on it and select New Zone. The New Zone wizard appears. On the first screen, you'll choose the zone type. Select Primary Zone because this is the authoritative zone for your domain. Then enter your exact domain name, the same one you used when creating your Active Directory forest. This zone will be stored on this DNS server, and it's where all your domain records will be registered. Make absolutely sure you spell the domain name correctly because this is the foundation everything else builds on. When you create a primary zone for Active Directory, Windows Server automatically creates the necessary service record folders. Expand your domain zone in DNS Manager, and you should see folders for _MSDCs, _sites, and _TCP. These folders contain the service records that Active Directory clients use to find your domain controllers. Your domain controller should automatically register its service records here, including LDAP, Kerberos, and global catalog records. These are the critical records that enable clients to authenticate and find resources. If you don't see these records appearing, it usually means the NetLogon service hasn't registered them yet. You can force registration by restarting the NetLogon service on your domain controller. The key thing here is that this all happens automatically once your domain is properly configured. You shouldn't need to manually create these records, but you should verify they're present and correct. Your DNS server needs to be able to resolve names outside your domain as well. Right-click on your DNS server name in the DNS Manager console and select Properties. Navigate to the Forwarders tab. This is where you specify external DNS servers that your DNS server will forward queries to when it can't resolve a name locally. Add public DNS servers like Google DNS or Cloudflare DNS. These are industry standard, reliable options. When a user inside your network tries to visit a website like google.com, your DNS server will forward that query to these external servers and return the result to the client. Without forwarders configured, queries for external domains would fail and your users couldn't browse the internet. This is especially important in enterprise environments where users need access to both internal resources and external websites. Here's the critical part that many administrators miss. Every client on your network must be configured to use your DNS server. This is how clients find your domain controller to authenticate. If your clients are pointing to the wrong DNS server or a public DNS server, they won't be able to find your domain resources. There are two main ways to configure this. The preferred method is through DHCP. If you have DHCP on your network, configure DHCP Scope Option 6 to specify your DNS servers. This automatically pushes the correct DNS server to all clients that get their IP configuration from DHCP. The alternative is manual configuration on each client machine through network settings. Point the primary DNS to your domain controller and the secondary DNS to either a second domain controller or the same server for redundancy. In enterprise environments, you typically have multiple domain controllers, and clients will try to use them in the order you specify. This provides both performance and fault tolerance because if one DNS server goes down, clients can still find your domain controller through the secondary server. Let me cover the 3 most common DNS issues you'll encounter in Active Directory environments. First, service records are missing from your DNS zone. This usually happens when the NetLogon service on your domain controller hasn't registered the records yet. The fix is straightforward. go to Services on your domain controller and restart the NetLogon service. This forces the service records to register immediately. Second, DNS name resolution fails entirely. Your clients can't resolve any domain names. This is almost always because clients are pointing to the wrong DNS server. Check your client's DNS configuration using the ipconfig command or verify your DHCP scope options. Make sure they're pointing to your DNS server, not a public server or a non-existent server. Third, domain join fails when you try to join a client to the domain. The underlying cause is that the client can't locate the domain controller, which requires DNS to work correctly. Verify two things. First, that the client is using the correct DNS server, and second, that your DNS zone actually exists in your DNS server. These three issues account for probably 90% of DNS problems in Active Directory environments, and once you understand them, they're very easy to fix. That covers everything you need to know about DNS setup for Active Directory environments. You now understand how to install the DNS role, create zones, configure service records, set up forwarders, and point your clients to the right DNS server. This foundation is absolutely essential for any Active Directory deployment. In our next episode, we're diving into SQL Server installation and setup, which is critical if you're planning to deploy applications that depend on SQL databases in your enterprise environment. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future tutorials on Windows Server, Active Directory, networking, and other IT infrastructure topics. Drop a comment below if you have questions about DNS configuration or if there's a specific scenario you'd like us to cover. Thanks for watching N7 Tips, and we'll see you in the next video.